How in the world could I have been so dumb? There are a lot of times in life where we look back on things we did and we go, seriously? What was I thinking? Trust me, I do that a lot in lawn care, and I'm here to make sure you don't. So today on Budget Lawns, we are going to talk about 3 rookie mistakes I made and where I went wrong, so you don't have to. Thank you for being here. Let's jump right into number 1. So you're a lawn care beginner. Where do you start? Well, you probably don't start in the lawn. You're probably starting on YouTube or Google or somewhere else, just trying to find out information to do all the right things. Unfortunately, there's a chance you may end up doing some wrong things. Why, you ask? Because we get on looking for lawn tips and we fail to consider that not all lawn tips apply to every type of grass in every single yard. Do you have cool season? Do you have warm season? Do you have a grass that spreads on its own or one that does not? Look, all different grass types take all different kinds of care, and that is the first place to start, knowing what type of grass you have. Unfortunately, that's not what this video is about because I know what type of grass I have. I have Bermuda grass. But when I first started taking care of it, I just got on the internet and I started looking up videos. And unfortunately, not knowing what type of grass I had and how it was different than others led me into thinking some of the wrong things about how to take care of it. And one of those first things that I kind of messed up on, now, we'll talk about this a little bit. When we go through each of these steps, we're going to talk about the way I thought it was supposed to be versus the way it should be. On number 1, on mow height, I thought you were supposed to mow high. Everything I was reading and watching online, especially from some of the YouTubers at the time, was mow high. Set the deck on your mower as high as it will go and mow high. That will crowd out weeds. That will block the turf from sunlight and help hold in moisture more so you don't have to water as often. All of these advantages to mowing high. Can you mow Bermuda high? Sure, I used to. Still saw great results. But the way Bermuda should be mowed is low. Bermuda creeps, it crawls. Mowing low promotes that lateral growth and it really gets thick and dense and does all those same things that I was trying to accomplish by mowing high. Prevents weeds, keeps the sun from hitting the soil and drying out so it holds in the moisture, and it just promotes a healthier, better looking lawn for Bermuda to be mowed low. Now, with that comes a little caveat. If you're mowing low, you have to mow often. And that brings us to point number 2. Well, I thought that every time you mowed, you would just cut off the top of the grass and that everything would be beautiful and green. Well, that's not the way it was. The way it ended up being was that if you don't mow often, especially with Bermuda grass, you will actually cut off too much of the grass blade, and then your lawn will end up looking brown. Because on Bermuda grass, most of it is just a brown stalk. Only the top third or so is actually the green leaf blade. So if you're not mowing very often, then guess what you're doing when you mow? You're just mowing the green off and you're left with this brown, hazy looking, nasty yard. So that was number 2. You have to mow often. If you're not mowing a Bermuda grass lawn at least twice a week, you will never achieve the desired look you're going for. And that brings us to our third and final rookie mistake that I made because I watched and read too many things online. Everything I was seeing was, hey, you should be overseeding, dethatching, all these things that don't apply to a Bermuda grass lawn like they do to a cool season grass. Because guess what Bermuda grass actually does? It, as I mentioned before, spreads on its own. It has these rhizomes that go underground and then pop up out of ground, and then you get more stolons that spread. And if you've got bare spots, areas that just aren't as thick as you want them to be, then it will take care of the filling in for you. You do not have to overseed. Now, it's not to say that you don't have to dethatch or aerate and some of the other steps that you have to do for a cool season lawn, but doing those steps for a Bermuda grass lawn is not as important as for cool season grasses. Those cool season grasses, a majority of them are just growers that grow up, not out to the side. Now, Kentucky bluegrass will grow out to the side. It will spread on its own, but not at the rate that Bermuda grass will. Bermuda grass is a quick moving, repairs itself turf that some may say is a much easier turf to maintain and have looking the way you want it to, but with that comes a very high amount of effort and work to keep it looking that way. So you could say it's also a high maintenance grass. Just depends on the end result that you're looking for. So when you're looking at stuff as a beginner on how to take care of your lawn, make sure you're aware of those very distinct differences between cool season and warm season and grass types, because some spread on their own, some don't. Some like to be mowed high, some like to be mowed low. And I'm just telling you from my experience on a Bermuda grass lawn, just because you hear that things are supposed to be one way for a yard doesn't mean they're supposed to be. Bermuda grass ideally should not be mowed high, it should be mowed low. Bermuda grass needs to be mowed often, not just once a week, twice a week, because if you don't, you'll cut off the green and see the brown stalks. And then number 3, it will spread on its own. There is no reason to go to the store, buy extra seed, and overseed it in the spring or fall like you will hear some of our cool season friends saying. Not to mention, if you do overseed it with a seed from one of your big box stores, it will likely not match the Bermuda grass that you already have in your lawn. Therefore, you will have different colors. You will have different blade types. You will have different types of grass in your lawn that you may not want if you just do a little bit more digging into your research and find out how Bermuda grass will take care of its own spreading and filling in for you. Okay, my friends, I hope I laid out some rookie mistakes that I made so you don't have to make them as you start your lawn journey. Gosh, you know what? We just hit 10,000 subscribers here on the channel. I am very appreciative of all your support that you give me here on Budget Lawns. And I hope you'll give this video a thumbs up and a comment down below if it helped you at all. And I hope as well that I will see you again next time.